Bravo!
Welcome to IoT Coffee Talk, and that was terrible karaoke. You might not know the song. It's Mean Street. That's Mean Streets by Van Halen.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, if you didn't show up, man, we would have nobody. What's up?
Yeah, well, maybe I don't know. Maybe I scared everybody, but yeah, I've been a bit of MIA. So as I would tell you in the prep call, was pretty busy all Friday mornings for a couple of months. But
yeah,
I've marked my calendar, slot locked, non-negotiable.
Yeah, well, that's what you have to do. You have to block out the time to jump onto IoT Coffee Talk.
Exactly. So what have you guys been discussing in the past weeks? I haven't been able to catch up, actually.
You know, what everybody's talking about all the time, which is like AI. Yeah, so, but anyways, hey, everyone. Thanks for joining. Remember to like, share, and comment. You know, we're doing this for fun. So if you take us seriously, you're doing absolutely the wrong thing. Number one rule in this house is have fun. And we're just going to rant and rave. This is how we decompress, right? After a whole week of AI fatigue. I mean, it's tiring. But this is how we vent. And out of this venting, believe it or not, comes out some very important and timely insights. You won't know that it's timely until you watch it 6, 7, 8 months from now. Actually, you know, it's funny because, you know, this whole malt book thing, you talked about this long time ago. It was like almost 7 or 8 months before malt book happened, right? I mean, you stated it as kind of a joke, well, a potential ridiculous scenario that ridiculous people would do, and it happened, right? It is crazy. So kudos to you, man.
Yeah,
but that's a great example, right?
It's a good example, and don't the audience take it wrong. I think that I'm actually running one of these things, but I'm doing the proper way in 3 different isolated boxes. But if you give the keys to your life to an artificial thing that can actually use it to get more things out of your life, what do you expect?
Right. And that's all we've been saying. We're not saying that AI is worthless or anything like that. The key lesson that we're trying to convey here, or learnings that we have that we've accumulated over the years that we're trying to share with everyone who gets overly excited about all this stuff, is this stuff is typically really hard. The path to good is very difficult and very expensive, and the potential for exponential damage more than an exponential benefit is much higher, right? It's an asymmetrical thing, and we're trying to help, technical communities, business communities, end users, even vendors understand this, because if you don't align with reality and you invest in selling hype, I guarantee you will not sell anything. And we say this because many of us on IoT Coffee Talk, we have sales experience. We've had to go out and we had to sell things. We have experience delivering, solutioning, having to be accountable to customers, right? We're not just pontificating based on, something we read in business school. This is like field experience that we've had in the past. Or like in Bill's case, I mean, dude, you have to deliver all the time in the gap of the ugly, right? So that's where we're coming from with this stuff. And people who get that twisted, you're going to get hurt listening to us. It's going to be super uncomfortable for you. But you know what? At the end of the day, what's going to be even more uncomfortable is when you fail your investors, when you don't make your sales quotas, right? And then you lose your credibility because you're trying to sell some ridiculous nonsense to a customer who will remember at some point and that you're ridiculous. you don't have discernment. You don't know how to see beyond the hype and meet that customer where they are. And it's funny because nowadays you hear a lot of companies, well, we're going to meet the customer where you are. No, you're not. If you're still trying to sell ridiculous hype driven nonsense, you are not meeting the customer where they are, because most customers aren't even ready for any of that aspirational stuff. So anyways, obviously I had a really, really special AI nonsense week. So yeah.
You've been on the range, man. In the trenches with those agents all around you.
Well, I'm working with a lot of clients to figure out how to help them, wade through this stuff.
What is the biggest nonsense you heard this week?
So I posted about it. AI adoption. Why is that a problem for anyone? Whose problem is that? AI adoption.
What does it mean though?
Exactly.
I mean, it's a broad term, man. I mean, AI adoption. Okay, so you use ChatGPT. Is that adopting AI?
Yeah, it sort of is. But the thing is that if adopting it for what purpose? If you're adopting it like what we were talking about for the past few weeks, Dimitri, is if you're using it as a drug, right? Then there's nothing really great that comes out of it. I mean, you falling in love with an AI chatbot. I'm sorry, how is that healthy? Seriously, how's that going to help you with your social life? Yeah. I mean, it's just, I don't know, for me, man, it's just
part of it though.
Purpose.
I feel like part of it is that we're looking at it from a practical perspective in terms of what problem are you trying to solve. All right.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. And by doing so, you take the fun out of it.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I'm positive that there are a ton of people that listen to us, and and those that are literally just having fun with it, not thinking about the repercussions, not thinking about infiltration, not thinking about any of those types of things, are literally just having fun and let's see what I can create.
Yeah. FAO. Yeah.
Havoc. Fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
But there we go again. We took the fun away. And I think that there's not even a fine line. There's a literal chasm between using AI for solving, whether it be a business problem, a technical problem, or whatever it is, to the creatives that are like, what can I do with this that's going to, one, allow people to see how creative I am by leveraging these tools. Yeah. And things of that nature. So part of me, I'm kind of, if I step back and I look at it objectively, then I'll be like, yeah, you guys are taking the fun out of it, man. It's supposed to be fun. But when you hear the business side of it and you hear what people are talking about and what they're saying, you got to call bullshit.
Yeah. And that's the thing is we've had to deliver, whether it's from the sales perspective, whether it's from the solution delivery perspective or product development standpoint, we've had to commit to being, and we've been accountable for being successful. Delivering value to the customer is how you measure success. It's not tokens. How many tokens are you consuming? That's total nonsense, right? It's a distraction. And that's really where I'm coming from. But, we have a lot of people who watch our show, right? For one reason or another. And I'd rather have people watching our show because they want to figure out where ground truth is rather than get, a diet of exponential nonsense. There's plenty of that stuff. I mean, all these responses that you get from these chat, these AI tools is nonsense, average crap. I saw some folks putting out some content. Do you see one of my posts that kind of made fun of all these people making these diagrams and shit? You know how easy that is? And how thoughtless? There's no thinking. And then the output, it's like, oh my God, this is like all just marketing material, right?
Well, I mean, but okay. So again, to be
It's,
fair, marketing is a creative exercise.
yeah.
Technical marketing combines the two,
Mhm.
and you should get something out of that. I've always thought that what are these infographics and stuff like that? I've always thought they were garbage.
Yeah.
I've always thought that, no matter where it came from. I'm like, that's garbage. You got all the garbage on one page, and that's all it is. you know, um, and when people want to do these taxonomies about, who's here and who's there, I'm like, pay attention to that if you want. I'm too busy with my head down trying to deliver on these things and trying to pick up the next customer.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or, or even just figuring out who the best partners are to work with. And, in your case, like, suppliers, what technologies to actually use.
Well, I mean, there is absolutely something to be said about that, but that to me is a general part of business anyway, because if you believe that you and your solution are going to be the one throat to choke, and you're a startup, again, you're living in the valley of disillusionment and not facing reality. You're not going to be that one throat to choke.
Yeah.
One throat to choke comes from, I mean, Google isn't even the one throat to choke because they have partners.
Yeah.
I mean, so I think there's a lot of failures in general business practice across the board, irrespective of the tech that you're using.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think, Dimitri? What have you been up to, man? By the way.
Yeah, well,
usually the most talkative.
Yeah, it's just I need to re-warm up a little bit. So
yeah, you got to get used to.
I mean, I think I told some of you I started in your position at the end of March, so it's the beginning of the establishing your position and those kind of things. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the point, Bill, is I think that companies, and this is also an overabused term, but we truly have to think in terms of ecosystem nowadays. You're not the one that's going to do everything. You play a part in the value chain. We're actually learning that at the global level in all our economies. These are value chains right now, and how can you influence the value chain is the most important thing.
So, yeah, that's true. That's very true.
That's the fundamental. And whether it is using AI or automation, all those kind of things, it doesn't matter. The problem, I believe, with AI is that, and it's to your earlier point, Leonard, is the scale, because now it can have a much more important, dramatic, exponential impact.
Oh yeah,
because of the scale. That's really the problem. Before, the first time you get a stupid analogy, the first time you get a CRM, or you can call more customers and you're more on their phone and more on their ass, but you were still limited by a human. Now I basically receive a dozen piece of crap emails. I'm stopping accepting inviting LinkedIn's because it's harassment level now, and it's all AI generated. It's harassment level. And actually, I've been saying that to some of you will recognize, maybe probably not, you're not our audience, but I'm saying, guys, you're second in my connection. This is the 10th email this week. Who do you think you are? And I know you're not a person, you're an AI agent, but stop.
Yeah. I mean, now these people, now I'm getting like even longer emails than before.
Yeah.
Where people were a little bit more to the point. I mean, that was like one of the things that I learned in consulting. It was a huge coaching point by one of my managers. I used to write these really long ass emails, and she told me one day, took me in the room and told me, look, you know what? Try to be more concise because nobody reads the entire email. I went, really? And she goes, no, you write too much, and just get to the point and synthesize your thoughts. But now what's happening is you put intent in, and this thing friggin' goes bonkers and then creates a 2-page email that no one reads. And, like I was telling you, I think there's some companies now in the AR programs, when analysts ask questions, what they do is they have a chatbot in the background, their chatbot providing answers, right? I think that's what's happening, because a lot of the responses just look the same and they're really friggin' long. And I'm scratching my head wondering, how did you write all this stuff? And oh my God, I just asked a simple question and you guys are giving me, you know, all kinds of irrelevant crap on top of it, right? So there's much more noise, and that we're increasing the requirement for filters, right? And that's nonsense. Do you know what I'm saying?
And I think the answer to that is that people are going to start putting other bots to read those bots. By the way, on email, I always been applying the three golden rules of email for me. The first one is no more than 10 lines in the core. Now you can have references. The second one is spend 25% of the time crafting the subject line. This is the most important part. And the third rule is be very cautious on the CC and on the BCC.
Yes, true. I would put that number one.
Yeah, well, no, that's the political aspect. That's why I put it at the end. But that's the most important thing to do. And I usually have been saying that for decades. If you send me an email whose subject area is urgent, this is the last one I'm reading.
Man.
Urgent, why?
I guess I don't know. Again, I'm one of those that's, look, I don't have a whole lot of time to be sitting there writing emails and shit. Mm-hmm. So email will just, here's what I want to talk to you about. 2 lines. Give me a time, a date and time. Just jump on a call.
Yeah.
Best BP. Done. I'm out. And I mean, that's it. You know what I'm talking about. You know the context that I'm putting it in, how I'm framing it, and you know that we need to have a conversation. So what else does there need to be said? And if things have gone wrong, like, I mean, we deliver and we deliver and we deliver. And in certain instances, like in, you know, one of the programs that we're working on right now, we should have started back in February. And so my guys are sitting there going, are we still doing this? I'm like, yeah, we got the PO, but, you know, the way everything is structured, I'm not invoicing until we start. We told them how long it's going to take. And now because of their lack of execution, they're saying, can you compress your time? I was like, no. In email, lessons learned, this date, this time, we're going to talk.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we can't continue to operate this way. So, I mean, I think email TLDR is a real thing. So I'm like, I'd rather get to the point and have you respond back and go, what are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. Just be straight up. And, you know, the thing is the less, I mean, I think this is the longer email, the less trust between parties. It's sort of like the correlation I see. And yeah, you know what I'm saying? If I trust a party, I just need to be, all I need to do is be concise. I don't have to do a huge sales job, you know, adding a bunch of nonsense to sell a point. You know what I'm saying? If there's mutual trust, they'll know what you're talking about. But the people that are trying to build trust, and this is the irony, they will send you a long ass email, and then the recipient will typically not trust that person for sending that long ass email. They'll just think you're a spammer. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so, yeah, man, I don't know. It's just crazy. It's crazy.
We live in societies where, you know, being a man of few words is something that everybody has forgotten. Probably.
Yeah.
Actually, in the Gen AI world, it makes sense because, again, those things are can so easily spit some stuff automatically. You give them a sentence, you get 2 pages. And it's crazy.
Well, you know, think about it. Isn't it crazy? Like, you have like the the younger generation that have diminishing attention spans, why are you going to use Gen AI to create a longer email than you would be capable of writing or would even bother writing, expecting that a younger generation person is actually going to read the friggin' thing?
Okay, so now it's so fucking ironic that you're saying that. And you recall last week when I said, "Hey, come here. Let me tell you something. Don't fucking do it." I just get this email. Do you see the cups?
Oh my God.
Yeah. I'm not surprised. Yeah, it's your name. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's
The cup has my name on one and his on the other. Oh, and by the way, I found True North Software Solutions on LinkedIn. I really like your product. I'm a marketer and product manager who has helped several people. I'd love to learn more about True North Software Solutions. Wait a minute. If you
read the freaking
found
email.
us and you understand us, then you know what the fuck we do.
Yeah.
People,
Yeah.
stop doing this shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I get
you know it's not gonna happen. It's crazy. By the way, this is
I mean, but how do you think that this is a good idea? I can help you secure more calls. How? I work with local city and state government.
Yeah.
I work with utilities. Are you going to go and introduce me to CEOs of these utilities and and CIOs of these cities? And I mean, how are you going to do that for me? Because if you can, damn it, let me bring you on.
Yeah. I mean, it dissuades
doing that
people
shit.
from investing in building trusted relationships, right? It's like what you're doing is just trying to build a pipeline, but when everyone's using these tools to create pipeline, it generates all this junk. You know, you're not gonna have a huge conversion rate, because the reason why you're using these tools is to improve your conversion rate, right?
Yeah.
well,
And if everyone else starts using it, guess what?
but I think
Nothing changes.
Can we? I mean, but here's the thing. This is, and I mean, I've done this. I've gotten calls like this, and I'm like, where is my fucking information out that people are calling me saying, "Hey, we'd like to." So I get one, and sometimes I'll entertain them just to rip them the fuck up.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll entertain the call. Hey, this is Bill. What's up? Hey, I saw that you got this kind of business, blah, 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 blah. And we were wondering, I mean, what were you using to track what are you using a CRM? Yeah, we're using HubSpot. Oh, really? Well, we got this product that can do this. And I'm like, really? We built our own. Well, how does it work? I mean, it takes everything from the moment I'm having a meeting and that meeting is recorded and it goes into HubSpot. It lines up everything. It spits out a time. It ages the deal. And then at the time we close the deal, it tells us how much it cost us to close that deal and subtracts that from the total margin. So I understand what my net profit is.
Yeah.
Oh, you do all that?
Dude.
You don't know who the fuck you're talking to.
Yeah. I mean, and think about it, man. The conversion rates on social marketing spend, right, is still very low. I think it's still in the low single digits. And then so when you hear these guys say, well, we used AI to improve the conversion rate by 5%, which it's like, okay, prove it. Because I don't know if anybody actually audits what these platforms do in the back end, right? All I can tell you is there is a huge cottage industry, global cottage industry, to inflate the impression numbers. I think it's very easily, in fact, I know that it's easily provable. You have click farms that are basically creating, they're like minting coins. Do you know what I'm saying? And
we did bot farms now.
Yeah, now we have bot farms that gin up like synthetic engagement, fake engagement. This isn't real stuff. But what are the social platforms doing with their ad engines, right? And working with advertisers to make sure that that what the advertiser is paying for is for legit stuff, right? Real impressions. And then what is an impression? What is engagement? How does all?
I mean, but those are all people are enamored by that, right? Clout chasing and all of that good stuff. But here's something I just want to throw this out. I mean, you guys tell me what you think, because I'm kind of looking at this and I'm like, we talk and we disagree with each other from time to time, but everything is kind of like you got your point, and I don't know if it resonated or not, but we should open up the lines to calls.
Yeah, we should. Yeah. But we'll have to figure that out. But it's an open invitation to people.
Well, not necessarily join. Somebody might just want to call and be like, "Y'all bullshit." Click. Yeah. Hey, I don't hear that.
Yeah, you too, man.
Hey, look, we're Sports Center. We're not Jerry Springer, man.
Hey, but
that would just turn into Jerry Springer.
I'm like, I like that idea, because a lot of people don't want to get up. First, they don't want to jump on and be face to face with you. They kind of want to be behind the keyboard and let me just make sure that what I'm saying is going to land. If it does land, I might join the call. That kind of thing.
Yeah, the problem is the filtering for that, because we could do a Twitch style where you get the audience ask questions, but it's a big feed on the left. But the problem is, I've seen with all those Twitch things is,
well, you get
there's a noise. But actually we have a more targeted audience, so it might work for us. Maybe we want to explore that. We have open forum, log in and drop a question, and we'll select one or two or three, and we'll talk about it. And if you have a good point, maybe we'll invite you. We say, hey, XYZ asking this, you want to jump in and have a chat?
I think I'd rather have a conference, dude. Just like a real life thing.
I would love to do that, but I mean, as a stepping stone, that might be a first catalyst to it.
Yeah.
I just feel like I definitely want to hear from people. I mean, people here.
Think of this as like a reaction video. You know how like you have these people that react to music videos and movies or whatever, This is a reaction video. So we have a couple of things that happened in the week, and then we react to it and then get all ridiculous about it. And that's sort of what it is,
But I would bet that there are people out there. I mean, I've gone to speaking engagements and whatnot, and people have been like, "Hey, you're on IoT Coffee Talk." Yeah, I am. You know, man, you probably have the worst mouth on there. Yeah, I probably do. I probably do.
Yeah, kind of. You do.
And then I'll tell them right then, I've done it before. It's like, it's no disrespect or anything. I'm like, look, I don't give a fuck. I will say what I want to say.
Yeah. And
that's it.
That's what, but that's the thing, going back to what I mentioned before. At the end of the day, people won't be listening to people who just gin up hype. Seriously, they lose credibility over time. This whole show is about ground truth. We debate each other. We react to the nonsense that's out there, and then we try to help our audience figure out where they need to go to get things that will actually work and help them in value creation, right? I mean, think about what the IoT stuff. We had the same thing about adoption. Well, they're not adopting IoT fast enough. Like, what the hell do you mean? And what is that? Well, you want to drive adoption to satisfy some ridiculous forecast for 2026 or 2025 that is supposed to be $1.5 trillion or some ridiculous number of economic benefit. What about what about considering the fact that number is nonsense, right? And again, all the battle scars the IoT community suffered. I mean, they're still suffering from it. When I talk to people in the community who watch the show, who know me, they give me testimonials, man. None of them tell me, oh, dude, this was like an astronomical opportunity. They go, man, that was brutal, right?
Yeah.
This AI stuff is going to be brutal because most people out there talking about this stuff haven't an effing clue what they're talking about, and that's scary, especially with this kind of technology that can have a huge impact. In that regard, yes, it is a transformative technology, but with the degree of misuse and misguided use,
and I think
that is what's scary.
Yeah, that's what I was mentioning earlier, because the reality is our society has structured that investors are only responsible for the money they invest. They're not responsible to understand the thing and be cautious about it. Now, in the different ways we had in the past, whether it was the internet bubble or the whatever mortgage crisis or whatever, the IoT things, the technology had some impact, but it was not as transformational as this whole AI thing is, because I keep on saying that over and over again in the show. I think what people underestimate is that it is the first time that we have now technology that can use something profoundly human, which is language, at a scale that is crazy. And this is going to be transformational in society and can be extremely positive, for example, for education, or extremely dangerous in many other ways.
Yeah. And
so wait a minute. Let me ask you a quick question. Was this latest hack, right, with Canvas? Was that AI?
I don't know, but the thing is, right now, the thing that the problem, which the thing is, I have some experience in the hacker communities. You guys know that. What is interesting is that in the early days of the hacker community, it was actually a very select group of people, and it was knowledge based. So you would go to a BBS, a bulletin board service, or to a forum, and you will not ask, hey, how do I hack this? The first question you will get is, what do you know? And say, oh, what have you done? And if you say, oh, nothing, okay, go find something. And when you've done something, come back. Okay. So that was the early days. Then came the internet and the forums, and people started to share knowledge. And then hacking became hacking as a service. So you can actually buy some hacking tools or something. The problem now with all these LLMs is that the entry level for hackers is at the same level of the defenders.
Very low. And
that's dramatic.
And it depends on what you mean by AI. It might not have been entirely AI, because things like Mythos. What the reason why it's a powerful tool, and it's not exclusive to Mythos, is its ability to enable discovery. It gives you visibility to stuff that wasn't visible before, and that's what hackers are going to be using,
but the point is that
does that mean that it's AI enabled?
Yeah.
But then we're going to go to the next level where now these guys are going to be using agentic. They're already doing it, using agentic to basically up their game in phishing and everything else.
And I give you another interesting example observation in the hacker community. Are you guys familiar with what is a CTF? Capture the flag. These are those competitions that and I'm part of.
Oh yeah.
Do that occasionally. The problem now in the community, in the hacker community, is that you go to those CTF, and because usually you will go to a CTF, you have the teams, and you will see the points over time will be a ramp. Now you see the top 15 they all have the same number of points, because they're all using AI, and then they're going to so the CTF scene is being destroyed by LLMs. Totally destroyed.
Well, and I mean, but there's also one point that we didn't address, and that is the majority. I would say better than 80% of the attacks are no different than they were 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Right. The foundation of them is still the same. So you have social engineering.
Three things. Yeah. Social engineering, buffer overflow, privilege escalation.
Yeah.
Three things. That's hacking. Period.
I mean, but that's the, I mean, those things now you can just kind of do it faster.
And anybody can do it. Yeah, and anybody can do it. That's the problem.
Yes.
The bar is low. The bar is just the cost. And actually that is in the CTF communities now. It's how much money do you have to spend on token? We're back to your question earlier, Leonard. Is how much money the one who has the most money in tokens will win.
Tokenomics is a business.
Yeah. Yeah. But the funny thing is that you've created, it's a complete waste if you think about it. Because you have to spend tokens to defend yourself, and then at the same time, the attackers are using tokens to take you out. And so,
same with military. Same with military, my friend.
Yeah, it literally is a war going on. And the sad thing is, the cyber criminal economy will grow faster than the regular economy, and the cyber criminal economy doesn't produce anything; it just steals.
Well, and it's actually what I'm saying is that it's different than that. It's not the cyber criminal; it's the criminal who now have access to cyber because it's.
Sure. Oh yeah. I know because now they can vibe it. They don't need criminality.
But it's true. That's the problem. Again, that's the idea. The barrier to entry to hacking has been lower and lower and lower. So anybody can do it. Now it's a tool for criminals. Before you had like half of the hackers were just doing it for the fun and the others for the money. And in the beginning, it was actually the opposite. It was one person doing it for the money. 99% of us were doing it for the fun. Now it's probably the opposite. 99% is just pure robbery. It's just, professional criminals now can use an LLM instead of a gun.
Yeah.
And I stay in my basement with a computer and maybe I have these kids that know a little bit more like me, but hey, I have access to it. Before I had to learn.
Yeah.
But the other end of it is when people in this, I've never understood this, our security is XYZ, our security, we are so secure. And it's like, you are just dishing out an invitation.
Exactly.
Come and prove me wrong because I just told you that we use layers of security across these areas. It's like, oh, really? A layered attack. All right, here you come.
Thanks for laying out the blueprint for how we take you out. But see, that's the thing. Eventually, security through obscurity. How can you hide? Because these things will be scanning and can micro-target things, right? And, so everything that's happening in advertising, right, is being flipped and used in cyber criminality. Those they're literally the same tool sets, and espionage, right? So
now on the defense side, there are actually area of research, and I had conversation with a few friends recently. You can actually, one of the good things is because of the ability to generate code so fast, you can actually go back to pretty much imagine like generating a very specific new encryption algorithm just for you. Before that, you couldn't do that. You have to rely on standards, and standards would be beat up, and people would find vulnerabilities. But now it's easier to generate it's easier to generate on a regular basis your own obscurity and defense.
Yeah. But this is the thing that I think is really, I don't know. I get frustrated hearing people just talk about code. Well, you can code this and code that. No, at the end of the day, you need to build an application that works.
Yeah, but
just because you generate code doesn't mean that equates to a custom application or a bespoke capability. And that's no, and I'm just reacting to stuff that I've heard all week because a lot of these guys are pumping out agentic code generation tools or SDLC automation tools. But the thing is there's always a person in the middle. You need to know what the hell you're doing. Yet you have all these people conflating vibe coding with AI or agentic enabled SDLC or software development. They're two different discussions, right? And a vibe coding is just only one thing that might be for one step or one phase of your SDLC. And lay people who don't code, who are not, software engineers, don't know this stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing we had before the beginning of the show. Leonard, when we were talking about, prompt crafting. If you think that 2 lines is going to get you great code, no. But what I was mentioning is that if you spend the right amount of energy and focus in actually specifying in natural language something very sound, then the code generation automation can be achieved much more easily than before. Sure. That's the point.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it is not, again, I think I said to all people, I look at the result of a work. What I ask them is, what was the length of your prompt?
Yeah.
And if the prompt was 2 sentences, I know it's shit work. I memean,
yeah. And then they say,
it's wild. It's wild to me. Like I said, there's the whole vibe coding thing. My team, fine. If you want to do that on the side, I don't care. If I ever see you commit that code, we got a problem. Flat out. I'm just. There is not just a human in the loop. There is a human in the lead. There is a human intervention. There is a human at the end. We still QA our shit.
Yeah.
Should, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. And we've had code generation.
Claude writes better code than any. You know what? There's so many things I want to say about that shit. I mean.
It does the average. It does but the thing is, you have to remember it's not the AI, it's actual the harness, right? The harness that actually guides a series of quote unquote agents, call it disaggregated intelligence that work together in a chain to come up with the outcome. But yeah, you're right. The thing is, we're already seeing this. So if people are saying, "Well, you're full of shit," my experience is that no, this is what's happening to what we're seeing, or this is what we're seeing with some of the big guys that have been talking agentic for more than a year, pumping out a bunch of frameworks and tools, and finding out you still need to have the person in the middle. When 3 years ago they said this shit is magic, go all in. Guess what? Now they're stepping back and saying, well, you have to use all this code now to make sure that your AI and your agents don't go bonkers on you.
Well, I mean, look,
the same people 3 years ago who went overboard. In my mind, they don't have credibility because you FA'd and FO'd and you should have known better from the get-go.
Well, that's the whole thing, right? It's
no credibility, man. No credibility.
That knowledge begets more ignorance. I mean, it's going to happen. There are. I had a lengthy debate with someone from another company that was looking at the twins that we build, and they said, "Oh, we do that." And I was like, "No, you don't." I mean, I'm sorry, you don't, because can you ask your twin questions? I was like, you don't talk to a production twin that's on the operational side working on critical infrastructure. It's busy doing that.
Yeah.
Well, you should be able to know. Well, if you just sent the question and the data sits in the graph database over here, then you can query that. I said, so what you want to do is create a twin of the twin and unidirectionally feed that insight data over there to that one. Sure, you can do that. You're not talking to the production twin, you fucking idiot. I hate that shit,
well, hang on a second. I work for the Union of Digital Twins. They need breaks when you can talk to them. So you need to put them off the production line.
Yeah, you need to.
It's modern slavery. We have digital twins now.
Hey, you know what? These things get fed by data, so you don't need a break, nor do you need a rest.
By the way, I was thinking on the funny slopey slope now. Your question about your falling in love with a digital twin or an AI agent. Then maybe there's a new job, which is a divorce attorney to divorce with your AI agent.
Oh my gosh!
That's rehabilitation.
Like detox. Drug rehabilitation.
That's AI rehab.
Yes, but it's much more sellable if it's called AI lawyer, AI marriage lawyer.
Well, I mean, if you do that, then somebody's going to be talking about custody,
Imagine,
custody of the data,
yeah,
custody of the
but
agents.
Well, you know, I
imagine
mean,
how many tokens per hour I can charge for that.
Yeah.
yeah, I think if you really think about it, the people who are gonna, you have all these people that say, well, AI won't replace you. The person who knows how to use AI will replace you. I don't necessarily think that's true. Actually, the person who knows who's amassed
Absolutely.
experience and actually can operate and deliver value without AI is going to continue to outpace.
Yeah, I would actually rephrase that in a different way. I would say the person who knows when not to use AI will replace you.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there are cases
That's also a very interesting point because I coined this concept called zero trust execution, and I've had a few people say, "Well, how that's just zero trust security." And I told them, no, it's not, because usually when you look at agents and what now people are trying to do with OpenClaw, with NemoClaw, and you have like they introduced what's that, OpenScript or something like that. Yeah. All these isolation mechanisms, sandboxing, blah blah blah. Zero access upon instantiation. All this is completely opposite thinking, and it's all about not not trusting something that you're actually is there, right? And that's the approach that you need to take, even as a user of AI. Be aware of its limitations. Otherwise, you're going to really screw yourself, right?
Yep.
But then, don't be a Luddite. Just know what it's good for and what safe use is, and then adopt it in a way that delivers value. But these people that went all in, I'm telling you, man, all of them had to backtrack, dude. Because in the beginning, it was all about, we have to remember this. These guys were telling you to train your own foundation models. Is that happening? No. No one's friggin' doing that. And no one's doing that. And that was only like 2 years ago.
Yep. Oh,
where are we now? Finding out, oh, geez, wow, it's not secure. How do we do this in a safe way? And then it's just been a circus act, quite frankly. And that's why we're at this adoption discussion now. How do we drive? People aren't driving adoption fast, adopting AI fast enough. Who gives a shit? If it's valuable, it'll get used. It'll be adopted.
I mean, who gives a shit? It's the billion of dollars of investment.
Well, too effing bad. Yeah, you should have thought of this before you took your FOMO gamble. That's the thing. They took a gamble, and it looks like they're losing, because if AI adoption is a problem, that's their problem.
Yeah,
not a business's problem, not a CEO's problem, even though CEOs are making it their problem. It's not the board's problem, even though they're making it their problem. You don't need to adopt AI for the sake of
adopting AI,
satisfying a vendor or anyone else's or an investor's AI agenda, right? Just like, that was their gamble. You don't need to gamble on it. So that's...
Yeah, well, I'm not sure the board and the investors think that way, but yes, it should.
No, they don't.
That's why, and we and actually to some extent in tech, we've lived in this kind of, even though there were some bubbles that burst, but in general, if you look at the long term, the return on investment in tech in the past, 50 years have been generally very positive.
Well, think about that for a moment though. Why is it positive, and what is tech anyways? What is it?
Well, I mean, everything related to digital, but I think that now we're reaching a point that the scale, again, because the scale of what it can do in impact is kind of also the scale of the amount of money we need to, because it's a very inefficient way to produce intelligence. The amount of electricity it consumes, the amount of CPU, the amount of chips you need is gigantic. So I mean, even the building of the internet, I haven't done the math. You probably know that much better than I. But you look at what was the cost of building the internet infrastructure? We've probably passed that with all this AI crap today.
Yeah. Well, apparently what AI, all this infrastructure is good at the end of the day is generating code, which is then software running on CPUs.
Yeah.
You see my post? I actually have a next curve graphic for that. But no, at the end of the day, the tech is about tools.
Yeah.
Business tools.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually create real economic value. Because remember back in the day where there was an argument about, well, software industry, they don't really create a product, right? So you might deem software a product, right? But in terms of driving gross national product, right? Creating, like stuff that people buy that are essential, doesn't do that.
Well,
business processes improve. It can be the basis for services, but it can improve business operations and all the things that it's used for. But it's a tool.
Yeah, but
right?
The thing is
technology. Tool.
Yeah, but the thing is, and we might have to close soon, but maybe that's a closing thought, is because we have this kind of, at least at the moment, illusion and maybe over time reality of thinking entities which are digital, you can probably derive money out of that directly, because you can talk to the same way that you talk to your AI lover, this AI lover might ask you for money and you might want to give him gifts. So
yeah. Oh, that's already happening.
No, but it's not easy to imagine that. And I'm sure that's my biggest fear, again, because those things being language based, I can see a future where you have these very small companies that create armies of digital agents that become friends with people and start extracting money out of them or influencing them to buy some goods where they make a profit. I've told you already on the show, this is the future of advertising for me. I think advertising is going to totally disappear. And it's just going to be entities that talk to you and persuade you to buy stuff.
Yeah.
The billboards will go away. They will be replaced by somebody popping up in your corner and say, hey, how are you today, lovely? Oh, hey, I got these new things yesterday. You should buy one too. No, but...
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, yeah. Proxy. There's a company called Proxy that I wrote about, almost 7 years ago. And yes, hyper personalization by basically mapping your psyche.
Exactly.
It's metaverse was sort of a staging ground for like what we're.
Cambridge Analytica was doing those kind of things as well in terms of influencing behavior. That's the same logic. And again, now we have the scale because of the compute power we have. So.
Yeah. So,
anyway.
Yeah. All right. So, hey, thanks everyone for listening. Yeah. Thanks for listening to our weekend or end of the week rant. Remember, we're all about communities. So check out Elevate Our Communities at www.elevateourcommunities.org, and also follow IoT Coffee Talk at www.iotcoffeetalk.com. We are not quite yet the Jerry Springer of tech, but what we are definitely a unfiltered, as honest as possible forum for having discussions and debates on, wide range of tech-related topics. But most importantly for us, it's an opportunity to decompress. Obviously, it's a tough week. But thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.